Folks, this is great. All right. The Yang Gang, folks, let's get it. When I ran for president, it messed with my head. This is a Politico piece. Look at this fucking photograph. He's looking like he's a lost boy in a shoe shining shop. I love the math pin. All right. It's your birthday. Imagine going into a room and finding dozens of people have gathered together to see you. They toast your arrival. There is so much excitement. They ask you to give a speech. You are very flattered. You give a speech that speaks to how touched you are that they are there for you. You talk about the occasion that has brought you all together. You want it to be genuine. No, not so short that it seems perfunctory, but not so long that it seems self-indulgent. Your birthday speech goes great. People want to talk to you and congratulate you. You are happy to see them. You shake hands, blah, blah, blah. Your friends, broad friends, it's that kind of party. Now imagine if that happened to you every night. Not just every night, but several times during the day as well. And in addition to being your birthday every day, you periodically visit television sets to talk to a TV personality. The host greets you in the green room and you find yourself studying a face that you've seen many times before. This is the sob story that Andrew Yang is now, I guess, trying to promote. Yeah, sure. I ran for president, had horrible policies, got steamrolled, and then ran for New York City mayor, had horrible policies, got steamrolled. But now, can you feel bad for me, please? Is that possible? Can someone feel bad for me? And also, running for president is optional. I get it. It's interesting to think about, how it affects your mental state, for sure. And that's something I genuinely would value. Right, but it's optional. You could just choose not to run for president. It's very, very much so an option. You have a call with this person in 5, and you are on the road 4 days a week. From your family, you get back to the hotel room, and your face is tired from smiling or making expressions. That's a bit of what it feels like running for president, and it should worry us that all of our leaders are subject to it. No, it shouldn't. You should be able to handle some very, very bare, low-level anxiety and stress. If you are running to be president, I want you to be able to handle a stressful situation. I want you to do well in a stressful situation. That's why Trump was such a horrible president. In early 2019, still in the thick of the presidential campaign, Zach Grauman, my campaign manager, said to me, "We need to give you a different haircut and update your wardrobe." I said, "No one cares what I look like. Bernie looks like the scientist from Back to the Future that pointed to just stand for the cop. Zach shook his head and said, "That's not true. Bernie's old. You're young. People care that you're wearing a weird button or a suit that doesn't look quite right. I'm going to set you up with a hairdresser and tailor." I want to be very clear. If I ever run for political office, I'm dressing like this. I'm not wearing a pin. I'm not wearing a suit. I'm not wearing a fucking dress. I'm not wearing any of that shit. I'm dressing like this, bro. With my hair looking like shit. Yeah, that's right. I'm not a fucking sellout. I went along with it. I already had to get used to wearing makeup for television appearance that I often kept on for the rest of the day. The most irritating thing was using hair product again after taking a 20-year break. Apparently hair gel was upgraded to hair wax at some point, which seemed like an improvement from my old studio line gel from L'Oreal. Wow, we're getting some deep lore here. Imagine relearning how to groom yourself in your mid-40s. People talk about running for office or running for president as an act of leadership. I'm not so sure about that. I actually think in many respects, running for president requires qualities that would make you a terrible leader. Whoa. When I was CEO of Manhattan Prep, a test prep company, I would often teach I don't care, more about me and my experience. If you see a CEO chasing press, that person's company is probably headed for trouble. Okay. In the context of presidential politics, it was the opposite. The job was simply the seeking of attention. You would seek press virtually all the time. Interviews and press or an in-person event that would hopefully attract press were the job. When I wasn't on the road, I would wake up on a typical day and head to a television studio first thing in the morning, go to the office to film some digital ads, do several interviews, and then head to a grassroots fundraising event that night. On a presidential campaign, you make the big initial hires. But then as the campaign grows, it adds more people quickly, often people who played a similar role for another campaign. It was jarring to me to show up to an office in New Hampshire or New York or an event in New Hampshire and meet someone, only to be told this person is now working for you as a field organizer, digital outreach, blah, blah, blah. I would thank the person and be genuinely grateful, but it felt strangely impersonal. When I ran my own company, I made sure to blah, blah, blah. In national politics, it turns out you're not as much of a CEO as you are as the product. What is this, folks? I'm trying to get through this because I love the cringe. I love making fun of the Yanger. But, I mean, yes, running as a leader is deeply impersonal, deeply dehumanizing. I guess he's just trying to advertise the book. Is this an excerpt or something? On the campaign trail, I could clearly see how politicians become susceptible to growing so out of touch. You spend time with dozens of people whose schedules and actions revolve around you. Everyone asks you what you think. You function on appearance. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. This guy's really trying to do a rebrand. I love this image, by the way. He's looking like fucking like Leave It to Beaver, right, on picture day. Like, this guy is not looking so good. But either way, I think, you know, it's a decent point to bring up that running for president isn't really about showing how, like, Biden, terrible. Biden did a terrible job on everything, and now he's president. What? Right? Like, I don't know. But, either way, this is pretty funny. Apparently he's depressed, I guess. Is this like a, I'm depressed post? Because, like, you know, shout outs to Depression Gang, but goddamn. I think personally, you should run for office if you believe in a policy agenda that will help people. And if you believe in a policy agenda that will help people, you would leap at the opportunity to share it. And that's the problem with Andrew Yang, is he didn't have a political platform that would help people. His whole thing was UBI. He tried to be a one-trick pony. And his UBI policy in his website platform specifically stated it wouldn't stack with disability benefits. It wouldn't stack with Social Security. And he advocated to cut welfare programs like food stamps. So his UBI actually wouldn't have been a UBI at all. It would have just been a way to funnel more money to the middle class and upper class, and then the poverty-stricken folks would lose their other social programs, have it replaced with UBI, maybe net a couple extra $100, but would still be stuck in that world. His policy platform was garbage. So the only reason he ran was to be a vanity person. He ran for his own selfishness and narcissism. And so that's what this is about. If you actually care about things, look at Bernie Sanders. He said it himself. No one cares what Bernie looks like. Why? Because Bernie actually speaks to the people. He can go up there with the crazy hair and like he looks like he hasn't shampooed in 6 months, right? And his fucking face is literally melting apart and he's doing this with the hands and people love it. Why? Because he's talking about things that will make people's lives better. And he goes up there, he doesn't give a shit about appearance because he goes up there to talk about making people's lives better. That's not what Andrew Yang's campaign was about. His campaign was a brand building exercise, and I'm glad he's depressed. And he should really rethink himself, and he should really just start advocating for actual policy. If he wants people to think he's a real person, that's what this is. Oh, I'm a real person, I have mental health issues. All right, great. Stop taking so much money from fossil fuel companies. Stop taking so much money from the weapons industry. Maybe stop unequivocally supporting Israeli occupation on Palestine, for example. That's one of his most notorious flubs. The guy's garbage. I don't know what to tell you. So, fuck Yang. All my homies hate Yang. We saw through him the whole time.